I got arrested so many different times for either solicitation prior to me being in this prostitution sex ring. When I was just on my own on the streets, I would get, not just me, this happened all the time, picked up by undercover cops. You don't realize they're undercover cops until like you're 2 blocks down the street in this guy's car, and then they stop, and then all of these police officers swarm the car, and they're like, this is an undercover police officer. So I got arrested so many times for trying to solicit what I didn't know was an undercover police officer, possession, right? A lot of charges that, thank God, were misdemeanors in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And I say thank God because in some other states, possession of heroin or prostitution are felonies. So I am a very fortunate person that, although I have a past criminal history, never got a felony.
Speaking, misdemeanors are not anything to brag about.
No.
But, they're not punishable by more than a year in prison.
Exactly. Yeah. So like I racked up a bunch of misdemeanors for possession, for prostitution, for solicitation. And the first time you get arrested, you don't have a record, right? You go, you're in a county jail, maybe for 24 hours. They take your fingerprints, you go. It was like, so in the beginning,
this happened to me.
Not that it was okay, right? But it's like, you got a slap on the wrist, you got released. There were probably court dates I was supposed to go to or a fine I was supposed to pay, never did that.
So the guy who was controlling you was the one who bailed you out and did this, or did you have your parents involved?
No, in the beginning, it was like you would just get released 24 to 48 hours later, and then you were given a court date to show up to, and I just wouldn't show up. So like warrants were put out for my arrest. Depending the area that I was then arrested in, maybe someone then had to bail you out. So it was whether it was him or other people that were bailing me out. Never did I call my parents from jail to be like, I got arrested, because I knew that they would not help me. And I hadn't spoken to them for years. But how I eventually got out, and this is where never did I think I would say this, thank God I had a record. Because if I didn't have a record, the police officer that eventually arrested me from the warrant unit was the guy that knew I was involved in like an underground prostitution ring. But you don't get out of that because they come in and save you from that. I got out of that because I had a legal record, and this officer knew that I was like involved in this organized prostitution ring. I had warrants out for my arrest, and when he picked me up, it was on a warrant. But that was him also being like, I'm getting you out of this lifestyle. So I didn't get out of that lifestyle because they like raided this prostitution ring. I got out of it because I had a criminal record that literally like removed me from that whole lifestyle.
How lucky that is.
I know, which at the time, like I remember the day that I got arrested for that, because I knew that I was out. Like I knew that I was going to be in jail for at least up to a year because of outstanding records that I had. But I knew that would keep me safe and out of that lifestyle for a certain amount of time.
Was there a sigh of relief?
There was, of like, I was very scared of like, I didn't know how many outstanding warrants I had. So I was scared of like, I'm probably going to be locked up for a while. And I had been locked up prior, right? Different times. But I was like, I'm going to be in jail for like more than a couple months. So I was scared about that, but I was relieved of like, I am out of this lifestyle as long as I can stay in jail.